Hello, everyone. Welcome to this edition of Viral. I'm your host, as always, Kenny Diggs here. We talk about R&B singer R. Kelly, who's now in prison after what he went through. But R. Kelly, um, coming being hospitalized after being overdosed by guards. We'll talk about it in a minute. But first thing first, join in the conversation using the hashtag Viral Here on Connecting. Don't forget to subscribe. Subscribe is king. Tell a friend, call a friend, hit that subscribe button so you won't miss a thing. Here on Viral, we talk about embattled R&B singer R. Kelly, who's serving prison time due to his stemming charges from 2019. R. Kelly hospitalized after being overdosed with some he believes the guards are trying to poison him and trying to have him unalive. That's what his lawyer claims. Let's get names on what's going on with R. Kelly right here, right now.
The artist, whose legal name is Robert Sylvester Kelly, was rushed to the hospital last week after allegedly overdosing on sleep and anxiety medications given to him by prison staff. In court documents, lawyers for the singer allege that staffers at the federal prison are trying to kill him. He is serving a 20-year sentence after being convicted of racketeering and sex trafficking in 2021.
As you saw right there, R. Kelly, the news about him being overdosed from prison. R. Kelly trying to get his life together. You know, he's serving a 20-year sentence, a 50-year sentence, I meant to say, in prison. Hopefully, what's going on, R. Kelly? He think he wants to get a pardon from President Trump to clear all his wrongdoing and stuff like that. A lot of folks are doing that now. Well, R. Kelly, let's look flashback to how all this came about with R. Kelly going to prison in the infamous interview he did with Gayle King. Take a look.
Chicago paramedics called to the federal courthouse responding to the sudden illness of a potential juror with another jury candidate excused with a sick child in the hospital. The effort to seat a jury on this high-profile case proving to be a challenge, mostly due to the enormous publicity surrounding Robert Sylvester Kelly, better known as R. Kelly, who's faced more than a decade's worth of lawsuits, rumors, and 2 criminal trials, all centered on allegations of child pornography and sex trafficking of minors.
It's not just a matter of people wanting to be fair and believing they can be fair. It's whether you're capable of being fair and non-biased, given what you've heard and what's in your brain, and whether you can actually listen to the evidence that comes from the witness stand untainted by the lens that you may be looking through it with because you've had so much exposure.
Kelly's attorney, Jennifer Bonjean, late yesterday taking the position that a Chicago jury can't help but be tainted given the pretrial publicity, especially when it comes to the 2019 docuseries Surviving R. Kelly, the cable production featuring women describing Kelly's conduct and alleged sexual exploitation of underage victims. 3 months ago at the federal courthouse in New York, Kelly found guilty of enticing minors into illegal sexual activity, among other things. The 55-year-old recording artist sentenced to 30 years in the federal penitentiary with more potential jail time if he's found guilty in Chicago.
All right, you saw that R. Kelly, everything, he just fall from grace. And R. Kelly just went down like the rest of them and stuff. R. Kelly now, like we said, hospitalized after what's going on with his prison and stuff, poison and stuff. All right, let's hear from what you people had to say. You people had a lot to say about R. Kelly being hospitalized by prisoners. Let's take a look at what you people had to say and what people say.
I know everybody's saying free R. Kelly. I don't feel that way. I feel like R. Kelly just need to be moved to a different prison. Okay? The world have its way to give you what you put out. And R. Kelly has put out some things that we know that was not good. You seen the tapes. We know what he did. Just go, if you don't remember, just type in the things that R. Kelly has done and you will get a list of things. Okay? Is it right what they're doing to him in that prison? No, it's wrong. But at the same time, we can't tell people how they're going to get their karma. Okay, I think if they move him to another prison, higher security, but I don't feel that he needs to come home and be on house arrest to do his time. You know, and let me say this too, even with his family and children, My son is in jail. And by my son being in jail, you have to have somebody on the outside to make sure that everything is okay on the inside. Where these people have to be taking their medicine, these people have to go to the dentist, these people have to go, to the doctor, do whatever they need to do. Like my son needed glasses. You have to call up there and make sure that they are doing what they're supposed to be doing with your loved ones. So if you don't have nobody that's helping you on the outside, you don't have nobody at all. But back to what I was saying, I don't feel, and I know he's one of our favorite R&B singers, and we growed up on him. But come on, guys, right is right and wrong is wrong. You know what I'm saying? And I don't even know if this is true, because people that have money, you can pay people to say this and say that, and I'm not going to get into all that because it may be true. I just think that he need to be moved to another prison. Hugs and love. Y'all be blessed, J-Lo. Mwah.
But last night, R. Kelly's team filed an emergency filing. In the emergency filing, they alleged that R. Kelly was giving an additional dose of medication by prison staff. And they're alleging that because of that additional medication that he was instructed to take and that he actually took, he suffered a overdose. So they say that R. Kelly woke up allegedly on June 13th and he felt faint. He was dizzy. He started to see black spots. He got up and he fell. He crawled to the door of the cell and he lost consciousness then. At that point, he was placed on a gurney. He was taken by ambulance to a nearby hospital because they tried to take him to the hospital inside of or associated with the facility that he's in, but they couldn't help him, so they took him to an outside hospital. Now, they say in addition to this incident, this overdose, right, they're also pointing to the fact that R. Kelly allegedly has been asking for months to get some medical attention to a swollen leg. R. Kelly's legal team says that once he was taken to the hospital for this overdose situation, R. Kelly brought up the swollen leg, and they allege that doctors there then took a look at the swollen leg and they found blood clots in R. Kelly's right leg, allegedly, in his left leg, and his lungs, allegedly. But his legal team alleges that once the prison was contacted, R. Kelly was then removed against his will by guards and was not allowed to be treated. And they are saying that basically this could kill him because of the blood clots and the care that they are alleging he is not receiving. So they filed this emergency motion trying to bring light to this, to the same court that they are saying, hey, all this other stuff is happening. We're telling you he needs to be released because it is not
But
safe.
why? Why does R. Kelly and his team feel like the feds are trying to kill him? Because he's not coming out until what, December 21st, 2045? He received 30 years in federal prison. So why does he think they're killing him? What does R. Kelly know that makes the feds want to kill him?
So according to R. Kelly's legal team in the first filing, and they reiterated in this one, that whole plot to uncover the fact that there were things that were done wrong when it came to, remember I talked about like the flipping of the witnesses and all these things that they're alleging happened. Basically, they're saying the government and the prison officials have been covering up the fact that they did whatever they needed to do to convict R. Kelly, allegedly. And his new legal team, in trying to file for other things, discovered that and brought it in a plan to bring it to light, and they found out. So this is all a way to cover that up. That is what R. Kelly's team is alleging.
Is it just me, or wasn't there a videotape of R. Kelly having sex with an underage girl? Did we not all
they're not arguing that did not happen, right? What they're arguing is that when Azriel Clary, who was one of the major witnesses in R. Kelly's cases, and there's another woman who was also another witness in the Chicago case, that the way that they came about being those star witnesses was illegal. That's what R. Kelly's team is alleging. Like, they used an informant to flip these women who were not going to be witnesses. They used emails and phone calls from R. Kelly, allegedly, to another woman to then... They gave it to this informant. The informant goes to these, ex-girlfriends or whatever they were at the time of R. Kelly's, and gets them upset and makes them want to testify, and that is illegal.
But R. Kelly's team does know that they were selling them R. Kelly porn tapes like the Nintendo Switch 2, like crazy outside of clubs back in the day.
R. Kelly's
all over the place on Canal Street and like crazy. Like, we all seen the tape.
Trying to figure out why he wasn't.
It was illegal to see the tape, but mad people seen the tape.
R. Kelly's legal team knows everything we know because we all watched that case play out. And so
now, I just have one last question. What's the probability that because of all this that they will get R. Kelly out early? Because his date is December 21st, I think, 2045.
I can't. I'm
That's
not a judge.
crazy.
I can't answer that. But I mean, if they can prove something like this with videos and things of that nature, a judge would have to consider some sort of like safety something, because he's locked up and he's gonna do his time. But like, you can't. If this is actually happening, which is very far fetched, but if it is actually happening, you do have to have a conversation about like safety and the way he's being treated.
Right.
But he's not gonna come home.
No, he's not going to come home. I don't see that happening.
Yeah.
Well, look, I'm just telling y'all what just happened.
And
what
the
I got in my
pedophile
email.
sign in front of his yard would be, oh my goodness.
Oh wow.
Oh, like how you have to let the people know in the community.
Yeah, you got to put
Ooh,
sign.
yes.
Wow, his sign would be crazy.
Yeah.
He gotta get his own block, get his own community.
He'd be banned from McDonald's.
Yeah, all of that, especially the Playhouse ones.
All right, well.
Now y'all gonna leave R. Kelly alone. Just gonna be honest, and I need everybody to understand that there's two different people that we dealing with in this case. We dealing with Robert Kelly, and we're dealing with R. Kelly. Okay? Now Robert Kelly is the one that's locked up. He the one that did all that stuff. He's the one that's sick. You know, he the one that, you know, had all that stuff going on. That's Robert Kelly. We can understand y'all not liking him. We get it. You got him locked up. He's locked up. All right? But then there's R. Kelly. Now, that's the one we don't play about, because he didn't do nothing to nobody. He made sure that all of us was here. He made sure that there was a bunch of good nights in the world. He made sure that we had good music for R&B. He took care of all of that. Now y'all got him taking all this medicine and all that. All right, you got him locked up. We let you have that. But we didn't say take him out. All right, you can do whatever you want to do with Robert Kelly. But you're going to leave R. Kelly alone.
Let's talk about R. Kelly for a second. You know, he's been saying that his life is in danger in prison, and they have filed an emergency motion. This was filed yesterday. It's the third request for a temporary release. He wants to be under home confinement because he feels like there was recently an overdose. They said he went into solitary confinement on the 10th, and then on the 12th, they gave him too much medication, and then he started feeling dizzy and faint. After that additional medication and vision loss, he was rushed to Duke University Hospital. And so, according to this emergency motion, they're trying to kill him to cover up misconduct during his prosecution.
That time hitting him.
Yeah, listen. He's saying the conditions are inhumane in solitary confinement. He said he sleeps with spiders crawling on him.
Yeah.
He has no access to phone calls and cannot eat food from the commissary. He's so fearful of being poisoned that he's gone for days without eating. And according to his lawyer, while hospitalized, they also found blood clots in both his legs and his lungs. So not sure what's going to end up happening from this. Do you anticipate that he'll get home confinement?
No, not at all.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen either. But we'll keep you updated on what's going on.
You people did not hold back one bit. Some of you were saying R. Kelly's in there. You know, some of you had a legit case that R. Kelly needs to get out, and hopefully he gets out and finds new ground. We'll see on what's going on with R. Kelly. R. Kelly kind of in this mayhem, in this mess, in this drama. So a lot of people are wondering, trying to figure out what's next for R. Kelly coming forward. So thank you all for watching this edition of Viral. I've been your host, Kendrick Dix, saying thank you for watching. We'll see you later.